Oh yeah, welcome to another happy pod.
I don't like this. I don't like it at all.
Welcome to another happy pod, the only podcast in the world. My name's Nathan, that's Lawrence. Hello. What is this show, Lawrence?
Intro gets more confusing every week. This is the show, Nathan, where we talk about pop culture, we talk about movies, TV shows, we talk about games, but barely because...
Because you delete the episodes?
No, we talk about video game adaptations, and they're the episodes that I delete.
Yeah, but we also talked about video games in that episode.
It's true. Ignore me. We try and have a good time. We avoid toxic discourse and nonsense, and we are keeping it cool, keeping it vibes all round.
And we're two lovely, supple little boys.
That's the second week going. You're trying to work that one in, are you?
Maybe. Lawrence, I don't know about you, but I was on a podcast this week, which may or may not be out by now. Would you like to ask me about it?
Oh, well, I could ask you about it, but first, you said you don't know about me. And Nathan, to tell you the truth, I've been on 2 podcasts this week.
Well, no, you haven't, so we're not going to talk about them.
They've been both of our podcasts.
Okay, great. Now ask me about mine.
Nathan, have you been on any podcasts of late?
Yes, I have, Lawrence. It's so funny you should ask. I was actually very lucky to be invited onto friend of the show Harley's podcast called Fundamentals. You may remember, Lawrence, he was also on this podcast a couple of weeks back.
No, doesn't ring a bell.
Well, okay, well, fuck you then. What was it doing? Yeah, Fundamentals, a friend of the show, Harley, he likes to invite people on so we can learn all about something new. I spoke about Doctor Who, which was probably a bad idea because I should not be given free rein to talk at length about Doctor Who. I don't know how enjoyable that will be, but yeah, it's up there. Feel free to listen. It's a good time.
I don't know how he'll cut it down. How long was the raw recording?
I was about an hour or so, I reckon.
Oh, no, that's decent.
It was good. It was a good time. So yeah, check it out. Really easy to talk to. Really nice guy. It's a good podcast. So yes, check it on out. As little Chris once said, rest in peace.
Somber all of a sudden. I like that. Yeah, no, we're looking to have him on here. He's just deciding what he wants to talk about.
Yes.
As we like he does, he lets his guests kind of come on with their topic of discussions. We've said to him, movie or TV show, what do you want?
Yeah. Or video game. Or book.
I can't. Nathan, I don't know how to read.
We get the audiobook. I've got an Audible subscription. You can borrow it.
Oh, thank God.
And speaking of Audible subscriptions,
what a transition. Welcome, everyone, to our new segment. And Nathan, I'm going to ask you to hit me with some klaxons as I introduce another happy revenue. Very, very good stuff. Nathan and I, what happened to us this week was we realised that we actually have been making some money off of this podcast. And before the tax man pops a little semi as he hunts me down, it is barely a thing.
Well, let's see how much we.
Well, look, we come from humble beginnings. So what we've done is we've vowed to keep our earnings open and transparent with our devoted audience base.
And where are these earnings coming from, Lawrence?
This isn't on this current list because I believe this is only showing me this previous week just gone. But the week prior, and Nathan is my witness, we did we did have a little nice kickback from KFC themselves.
I remember seeing Kentucky Fried Chicken. So hey, let us know what ads you got. If you got an ad for KFC, let us know.
If you've got an ad for KFC.
What ads played before this podcast?
Oh, I see. If they've received the ad. I thought you were saying if they've made an ad for KFC.
No. Like whatever ad you got served before this podcast. Let us know. That's fun. I also think it's very funny. I think the first time the ads showed up, it was on an episode that ended with Taylor Swift's All Too Well playing right at the end. Just a nice.
She got done dirty by like a bunch of record labels. She can have our SEK if she really needs our Swedish krona equals.
Great. So Lawrence, how fucking rich are we? Let's be transparent. Let's lay our cards on the table. Let's tell the people how much money they can make from the lucrative game that is podcasting.
So before tax, and before Nathan and I have split our earnings 50-50.
60-40, but yes.
Yes, I respect it. I'll go with it. We have earned ourselves a tidy profit of 24p.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's
Yes.
pretty good.
Tell you what, that's not bad. Is that just this week or is that all time?
You might be right.
Yeah.
Should we do last 30 days?
Yeah, have a look.
We made 6.20 Swedish krona equals. So I'm now going to find out what that is.
What was it before?
3.11, so you were right.
Oh, I've doubled.
Fucking hell, 48p.
Oh, a retraction, everyone. Sorry. That 24p, that was actually each.
Before tax, of course.
Yes, of course. Got it.
The cruel hands of the Tory government will claim us all.
Hey, I'm going to quit my job now because I reckon...
I wouldn't blame you. And everyone at home listening, It's only taken us about 2.5 years to get to this point. So if you want to be making 24p weekly...
It's a lucrative game. Anyway, if everyone can go back and listen to the episode with James on, because there's ads on it now, we'd really appreciate it. And if you go back and just listen to some more episodes, just get some more plays up there. There's ads on all of them.
Nathan, here we are doing Romeo plus Juliet. Everyone's favourite Shakespeare adaptation. And actually your selection to discuss.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this since year 9 English. Can't lie to you.
Well, I did it in year 9 English as well. He was probably in like year 4 at the time. What do you think of this movie? Where you at?
So, I think the only way to talk about this movie is to talk about Baz Luhrmann.
Well, I don't think that's the only way to talk about it, but...
No, not the only way, but let me set the scene for you.
The mise en scene.
I don't like Baz Luhrmann.
What's wrong with Big Baz? You don't like Moulin Rouge?
No.
You don't?
No, I fundamentally do not like that movie in any capacity.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm being genuinely serious.
Oh, we're doing an episode on Moulin Rouge.
Oh, good. Can't wait for it. No, I find it quite frustrating. And I'm sure Baz Luhrmann's a great guy. Seemingly a very, very nice guy. Still a very talented director. I want to point out, I don't think he's bad in any capacity because it takes skill to do what he does. Not for me, typically. However, with Romeo and Juliet, it works. Like, really well, I think. And therefore, I quite enjoy this movie. I think it's a good time. And it's unabashedly very dramatic and silly, and everyone's wearing a Hawaiian shirt or like a diamond studded waistcoat or something fucking obscene. Yeah, good time.
Why don't you like Baz Luhrmann?
Not that I don't like him so much as
you did just say that.
No, I don't like his style, and I don't like the way a lot of the time he presents his movies. Moulin Rouge is one for me that I'm not interested in the plot, right? At all. And then like I find it so fucking like I find it to be an assault on me as I'm watching it. I'm like, there's too much going on. There's too many sound effects. People are just merely walking on frame, and I'm getting boing stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't need any of this. And I know you're gonna dust off the tried and tested classic of I hate fun. I don't hate fun. I hate too much fun.
Clip that one out. Let me clip that one out for future.
No, but it's true. There is such a thing as too much fun.
No, there isn't. How is there such a thing as too much fun?
I do like Ewan McGregor's elephant medley, though. Must be said.
Okay. We're definitely doing an episode on Moulin Rouge now.
You might be.
This is an all-time banger for me.
Yeah.
The Romeo and Juliet is, and I'm not being hyperbolic, I'm not exaggerating when I say this is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Oh, really? Okay.
This is one of the all-time top 10 movies that have ever been made.
For you or in general?
For everyone. This is cinema, peak cinema. Okay, this what is there not to like about this movie?
No, I'm with you. This is an all-timer. This is an absolute banger.
It's so over the top and in your face, and it's just here, and it's unapologetic about it, and it's so good from start to finish. It's such a wonderfully crafted piece, in my opinion, and it really does a good job of, even though it's Shakespeare, and for most it can be difficult to understand what the fuck's happening. So yeah, it's great.
I got loads of thoughts on like the Shakespeare aspect of it, because it like genuinely, I'd love to. Obviously, Romeo and Juliet is one of the most famous fucking plays of all time. And by the way, spoiler alert for like a 600-year-old play or something. So we're gonna be speaking in depth. So if you don't know what happens to Romeo and Juliet,
Do you think anyone would click on a fucking podcast called Romeo plus Juliet and then think, oh no, there's going to be spoilers for Romeo and Juliet in it?
I'll stop you in your tracks, Nathan. It's unlikely because I don't think anyone's clicking on a podcast with Romeo and Juliet.
I reckon you're on. We'll see. We'll see that lucrative ad money increase next week.
Oh, let's go. Give me the klaxons. Very good. This podcast is a joke at this point. Very good. I love. I genuinely, I believe that, like, obviously the language is Shakespeare. Obviously it's an adapted screenplay. It's not the whole fucking shebang. As Shakespeare wrote it. And obviously there are some.
If Shakespeare wrote it.
Oh, conspiracy time. New segment. But I think it's so fucking accessible because like the movie and Baz Luhrmann, just a genius idea to like set the scenes where like people are talking to each other and they're like, maybe it's a bit too heavy and maybe the Shakespeare dialogue is a bit too Shakespeare-y.
Yeah.
He like puts visual metaphors in place for you to understand it. Like he's talking about like true love's arrow hitting as they're playing a game of like pool. And like they miss the shot as he's talking about unrequited love, and then he scores it when he's talking about love in general. Like it's so good.
It's really well done. Yeah, really well crafted. Really, really interesting opening, and a very bizarre choice, I think, but one that for some reason again just works. Is that they do the opening monologue twice. For some reason, there's a version where it's like a news anchor just delivering it in Fair Verona, where we are seeing blah blah blah, and then there's like almost like a trailer for the movie, like which they
it is, to be honest,
which they just put before the movie. It's like they had two versions of it in the edit room, and Baz was just like, just put them both in.
I think it's a very strong example of, and he's earned the right. By the way, this might sound like a criticism, but he's earned the right. It's Baz Luhrmann going, my editor's better than yours.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, whoever is editing it, they are better than whoever's metaphorical editor is. It's super fucking interesting. There's certain like swap outs in this. Like I love that I can't remember what the actual character is called. The police captain in this.
Prince, is it?
Oh yeah, no, it is Prince. Yeah, because it's Paris. Yeah, Paris is the other P that I was thinking about. So Prince in this is obviously just like a police chief.
Yeah.
But like he's delivering the opening monologue through a megaphone on a helicopter, and I'm like, this is so fucking like metal. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good. And I think like after it, once we get into the actual movie, it's just a great opening and introduction. Like the actual play Romeo and Juliet could probably be a little bit slow because it's Shakespeare. Shakespeare can always be a little bit slow. It depends what you do with it, really. But like the first scene is just, here's a bunch of guys. They're just walking and talking. And now here's another bunch of guys. And they're just walking and talking. Or a little altercation. There we go. Cool. Good stuff. And everyone politely applauds. And then they walk off stage or whatever.
Good sword play. What do you think of the sword play?
Yes, good home, whatever. But yeah,
famously how the peasants of Shakespeare's day spoke.
Yeah, but here again, it's just so fucking 90s and in your face. The fucking Montague boys just cruising down a highway. Everyone's wearing
the boys,
literally the boys. Everyone's wearing floral Hawaiian shirts that are always open. One's got pink hair. It's just so fucking out there and great. And just so much fun right from the get-go.
I've got a question for you on that. Because obviously, like the Montagues are like they're punks, they're 90s punks.
Yeah,
they borrow from a wealth of kind of different things.
Yes,
the vibes of each house are pretty fucking immaculate. But are you a Montague or a Capulet?
I see. Me personally, I'm definitely a Montague in like what I'm more comfortable with and how I currently dress. But what I aspire to be, like what I like to think I could be, is a Capulet, because like those boys are dripped, man.
They are dripped. Nathan is a man, everyone, who like me favors just like a breezy life.
Yes.
All right, give me the trackies, give me the shorts, give me the give me the open Hawaiians, or give me a simple t-shirt. That's all I need.
Indeed.
But you should see this man's drip on Red Dead 2. It is immaculate. Like, you think Tybalt looks good? You should see Nathan's man step off a horse.
I don't think anyone looks as good as Tybalt does.
It's hard.
But
it's
yes,
hard.
the fashion choices of the Capulets, it's all very Renaissance art waistcoats with like Christian imagery all over them and stuff.
Don't get me started on the fucking Christian imagery.
Well, yeah. And just the steel fucking heels of the boots as well.
They got to put out their cigarette at a moment's notice, Nathan.
It's so good, man. It's so good.
I know what I'd rather be wearing in a gun battle at a petrol station.
Yeah.
And I'll put it this way, it's not all the leather.
Yeah, that's 100% fair. John Leguizamo may be one of the greatest actors of all time.
Without a question, yeah.
And he is the best version of Tybalt that's ever been put to stage, screen, film, radio, anything.
Are there how many other adaptations, like big time of? Because Macbeth's been done about a million times, but has there been many Romeo and Juliets?
There's been many. I don't think any of them are as popular as this.
Denzel Washington did Macbeth. Michael Fassbender did Macbeth. James McAvoy, Macbeth.
I never want to talk about Michael Fassbender's Macbeth again.
Fucking immaculate film, so good. I know why you don't like it, because we had to write this fucking horrendously long essay on it in a uni.
Just the phrase Justin Kurzel's Macbeth gives me PTSD flashbacks.
See, I think that's the difference between a 2-2 and a 2-1. I said Justin Kurzel's Macbeth 2015.
Oh, well, I did that. I
cited my date.
I did that too, you dickhead. I was just being fucking concise for the podcast.
No, Nathan, you must get your bibliography out for the podcast, please. I don't think this is probably the most popular, isn't it? It has to be.
Yeah, it definitely is. There was a movie in the fucking like 60s or whatever, which was probably up until this the most popular. And I know there was like a movie probably about 10 years ago that came out, but then I think with that movie they just abandoned the Shakespearean language and tried to like just do like normal speech, and it's like, no, don't do that. What are you doing? Like, why would we watch this? Like,
that's the flair of it. A million have done that, haven't they? Like, there's what's that famous one that is Romeo and Juliet? Is it like She's the Man or something?
No, that's not Romeo and Juliet. That's are you talking about the Amanda Bynes movie?
I think so.
Yeah, no, that's another Shakespeare play. I know what you mean, but no, it's not Romeo.
Oh,
Juliet.
She's the Man is Twelfth Night or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
That makes sense. Everyone in Twelfth Night's like dressing up, isn't they?
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of Twelfth Night, you know the one I mean. The Amanda Bynes one.
I know the one you
Romeo
mean. She plays football.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that one. But that's more like, we'll take the story and make a different thing, like Lion King is Hamlet or whatever. But no, this movie it was Romeo Juliet, but they just changed the language to modernize it. Like, what's the point? Yeah, stupid.
I see the appeal, but that's a misfire. That is.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, I think this comes out of like this is a movie that just fundamentally doesn't work without Baz Luhrmann's style and this dialogue.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's melodrama. Like to the fuck, this is melodrama defined. And it's really, really nice.
I don't know, you may have been joking or whatever, but I also think it doesn't work without the editor as well, because
for sure.
A big part of this is the visual flair and style, and like a lot of it is sped up at parts, and then some of it is slowed down in others, and there's like quick cuts here and all this stuff, and again, it just all adds to the visual flair of it, which is like I say, in your face and really cheesy and sometimes fucking stupid, but again, it all works really.
There was like a moment in this, because I remember this movie and I remember it being a banger, but I also know that I'm not as big of a fan of Baz Luhrmann as other people. So like, there's moments in this that are like speed ramping, and my immediate pessimistic reaction is to be like, Baz Luhrmann just can't leave a shot alone. He has to fuck with it somehow. But then I'm like, but it makes sense, because like, love is fleeting, all the moments around don't matter, but when Romeo is on the screen or Juliet's on the screen, then it's slow and it's soft and it's tender and all of this. You're right, the editing is fucking like immaculate. And I also think, speaking on like how it works in terms of what the crew brought to this, whoever selected the music for the soundtrack of this movie, they knew what they were cooking.
The music in this movie is so good. Like you say, opens with the boys, as they're cruising down the highway. Great choice. When Romeo is introduced, we got handsome Leo brooding about the place. And I don't know what the song is called, but there's just this great instrumental piece that plays, and it's so good, man. It sets the mood perfectly, and like paired with, again, the visual style, everything's like slowed down quite a bit. It's at sunset with just the gorgeous orange glow of everything, and it's that bow 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 bow. It's so good.
I've been walking around all day. I watched this last night, and I've been walking around all day today just going bow, 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 bow. And I was on the phone I was about to say her name then. She doesn't like that. I was on the phone to my wife earlier.
Oh, my wife.
Oh, my wife. Well, it's true now.
He was on the phone to
his wife.
My wife. I can't do it. It's not as fun when I do it. No, I was on the phone to her earlier, and I just like, you know when there's just like a lull of silence on a phone call.
Yeah.
And I went wah, 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 wah. And she went, what? And I went, me being Leonardo DiCaprio doing anything in that movie. But yeah, no, I've one of my first notes, funny you say it, is Baz Luhrmann does understand one of life's simple facts, which is there has never been anything more aesthetically beautiful, breathtaking, gorgeous as a yellow vista interrupted by the silhouette of 90s Leonardo DiCaprio's hair.
He's so hot.
I'd give him a big kiss.
He was the perfect choice for Romeo.
Yeah.
Because like he's, especially at this part in his life, because he's such a heartthrob. He's so like hot. He's appropriately aged, probably for the girlfriend he currently has.
Very good. Joke of the year there. Yeah. That's very good.
Yeah. It's really good. I feel like Romeo, this version of Romeo, he's such a fucking soft boy. He's so like, he'd do
bits on Twitter, wouldn't he?
Mate, he'd be huge on TikTok. He'd be doing like thirst traps, and he'd be like one of those soft boy guys who like he'd show off his nail polish, but in a way where he's not actually showing it off. Where he's just like,
he'd be the definition of queer baiting on TikTok.
100%, yeah. He'd do bits on TikTok these days.
Like that kid from what TikTok used to be, that kid that's like, my nan's dead next to me or something, and he's like, don't you give up? No.
He wouldn't be doing that. He wouldn't be doing fucking musically bits or whatever.
That's how he would have got his start, and then he would have transformed.
He'd be doing those videos like POV, you walk into an elevator and I'm there, and we catch eyes or something,
and he's just smouldering, staring down the camera.
Smoldering the camera, and like his shirt's open for no reason.
And he's like, oh, sorry, my hair got in my mouth for a second there. Let me just push it to the side real quick.
Exactly, yeah. He'd do numbers.
I don't think anyone is ready for the conversation that this is, and has not been topped since, his best role.
Ooh.
It's a bold claim, but you tell me that Tybalt's death sequence isn't one of the finest acting performances you've ever seen.
It's good. Just automatically my head goes to Titanic, because it's probably my favorite movie of his.
He's great in it. He's not given as much to flex in Titanic.
You might be right, man. You might be right.
And I don't know what, like, he's doing. Yeah, he does stuff now, but like, he's not, let's be honest, he's not trying as hard as he once did.
No, not at all.
Not for some years now.
No, he's got to earn his meals back here, you know.
Yeah, and fucking boy does he.
Yeah.
The whole sequence, and it's again where Baz Luhrmann just knows to shut it down and let the actors fucking cook on a scene for a second. He knows when he's needed in the director's chair and when he's not.
Yeah.
And it's just like, obviously we'll jump straight back in a minute, but like just watching his eyes go from, I'm furious, what have I done, I've ruined my life,
yeah, in
the span of 30 seconds, it's breathtaking. Just like, I genuinely just lost myself in it for a moment. And I know that sounds so wanky, but like, he's that good in that scene.
He is really good. And I think, again, the beauty of Baz Luhrmann, especially with this movie, you do get a lot of extreme close-ups. You do get a lot of moments where you get to really literally focus in right on the eyes and see, when you've got wonderful actors like Leo and John Leguizamo and Claire Danes, you can see, the great emotion and performance that's coming across. Yeah, it's really good.
Young Hearts.
And Mercutio as well. Just another amazing choice.
Never be hung up like Rosaline and thee.
So good.
I still sing that version. It's my thing. When that's out and I hear that song, I'm like, I get close to someone so they can hear me being quirky, and I'm like, did you hear the version I sung?
I did the version.
You like that one from Year 9 English, did you?
I love Mercutio's inexplicable, or not inexplicable, just unexplained costume change at the party as well. Because like he goes to the party and he's in drag or whatever, and he's got like the silver wig on and stuff. But then it cuts to the party and he's on the stairs dancing with everyone, and suddenly he's got a bigger wig somehow and now a cape. but yeah,
he rocks it, and Baz Luhrmann said so.
It worked, man.
That's all you're ever gonna get for this.
Yeah,
he said so. Yeah, yes. What we were mid music talk, but what else is there? There's relentless bangers in this. It's not the. I saw this right. Someone wrote a review for this movie, and it said you don't go into this expecting 2 Radiohead songs.
There's one that played over the credits is the exit music. Was it exit music for a film or whatever?
Yeah, some exit music for a film, exit music for a TV, like a movie or something like that. Yeah,
exit music for a short film about a sheep.
Yes, it could be. Yeah. We've all done it, right? I'm not gonna claim to. Look, Black Mirror did it. We did it. Everyone's done it.
Yeah, but you did it because Black Mirror did it.
Nah, that's not true. I did it because this movie did it.
That's not true.
No, it's absolutely not.
What's that song called? Because there's one the little church boy sings, which is a good song.
He sings a few, doesn't he?
Isn't it brother and sister together we'll make it through. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it's a good song.
But that one, yeah. What the point I'm making is it's not like they're not needle drops for needle drops' sake. Like they're good songs, and like often they're covers. And they just they fit the moment.
The music when they see each other through the fish tank for the first time, when Romeo and Juliet see each other, it's so beautiful. I don't even know what it is, but it's so, I don't know, I can't even describe it. There's just something about it which is just really beautiful, and it's just really nice to listen to. And again, you got the lyrics, but the vocals by the great performer whose name I don't know, but all around just banger.
I think, he like, Baz Luhrmann creates like something like tangible, doesn't he? Like he makes you feel the emotions that are on the screen, not just like observe it. Like I genuinely, like I said it earlier, you lose yourself in some of the sequences in this.
100%. I think a great example of that is I don't necessarily like Romeo and Juliet. I think it's a bit shit. As in
it's
the
a
story.
Fucking well boring play.
Yeah, it's boring to be honest. And the characters of Romeo and Juliet I find extremely annoying because, like, get over it, all right? Like, fucking, you're 12, whatever, calm down. But like the whole sequence where they meet at the party and they have the extended sequence of just looking at each other through the fish tank, and then, you know, they're hiding from Paul Rudd and having a little kiss and running about from their parents or whatever. It's so good. I'm so engaged with all of it and really buy into this version of it. And again, I think that's down to Baz, Claire, and Leo, really.
It's interesting as well because, like, something that I genuinely think gets less focus now, and you can tell while watching this movie, like, if you know of the criticism, like, you know where she is in the Capulet house, right? You're in that party, like, every, like, the action, but like the sequence is defined. You know where they're going in the lift. You can feel. So it makes you feel like you're with them and you're running about. Yeah, and you're 100%. Sneaking about. And it's really, really cool.
It's a bit reminiscent of Titanic as well. And I say reminiscent, this came out before it. But, like, you know the sequence where, like, Jack and Rose running around, like, hiding from Cal and shit.
Yeah, it is. It is like that, yeah. Maybe Leo is passing notes to the big
to James, yeah.
You're not going to believe what I did on Romeo and Juliet the other day, man. This bangs. Yeah. Everything Jim Cameron has done has been aped from Baz Luhrmann. I do like that they poke fun at Shakespeare. There's some moments where they like let's be honest, the most famous fucking Shakespeare quote ever is probably Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Yeah.
To see Juliet as the son, all of that shit, right? All of that shit. Lawrence summing up some of the greatest literature.
Romeo,
apparently.
Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Rise for a son, kill him. Oh wait, no, wait. I don't know. Yeah, go on.
Romeo, Romeo, where you at? But I like that. So we're denied, as an audience, we're denied the iconic Juliet on the balcony monologue.
Yeah.
Instead, she comes out. But we get a little joke.
Yeah, he goes to climb up the balcony because he sees the light come on. And he goes, "Oh, one light through yonder window breaks. So it's the east, and Juliet is the sun." Just me flexing. And he
Sheesh, look, he knows.
and he climbs up the balcony like ready to have this big moment where he sees her again, and it's Miriam Margolyes. It's Juliet's very white maid doing a very exaggerated Hispanic characterization of a nurse. Yeah, I love Miriam Margolyes though. Miriam Margolyes.
I mean, she's great, but at the same time,
let me play you my favorite sound clip from Miriam Margolyes. This is a TikTok. Not that. That's,
what the fuck was that?
That's a cat getting angry at another cat.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Let me just play you this quick soundbite from Miriam Margolyes, who's great.
I'm very political. I'm very much on the left. So if you're on the right, fuck off, cunt. I'm very political.
Queen.
Respect it. Yeah. Right, but you touched on something that's really interesting. This is like an age-old fucking question with Romeo and Juliet, right? And I want to know where you land on it. Do they love each other?
They probably think they do because they're supposed to be like young and like. Well, the idea is like Romeo. Like I said, Romeo's a fucking soft boy. He's like he opens up this movie, and he's in love with someone else. He's in love with Rosaline, and he's like, "Oh, Rosaline, I love her, but she's like I can't be with her," and blah 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 blah. And then like the moment he sees someone else who's like a little bit attractive, he's like, "Oh, I love you," and like, "I want to be with you. Let's get married," and all this stuff. I think they're just young idiots, really. Yeah, they probably don't know. Like, it sounds harsh, but they don't know what love actually is, really.
No, and I agree with you. I think like it's lost on too many people that like I can't remember the exact line, but one of the like translations of a line when he's having a little whinge to Benvolio about Rosaline pieing him.
Yeah.
He says like he's ready to die.
Yeah.
Because of it. And then like lo and behold, what happens in this? Like he would have killed himself over Rosaline.
Yeah.
Had she had any more involvement in the story. My point is they don't love each other. They love the idea of loving each other.
Yeah, they're the typical teens who who want their life to be a movie and have this big like fucking dramatic love story, and they want to have the whole they just want to romanticize their lives. Basically, they just want the whole fucking shebang.
Because it's not. I was trying to figure out while watching this yesterday why I don't like Baz Luhrmann, but why I like this movie.
Yeah,
and why the style doesn't bother me. Because it's reminiscent of Moulin Rouge. I think it's maybe toned down a bit.
Yeah,
but like it's still very much the bare bones of that style.
Yeah,
and I think it's because it speaks to that interpretation because the movie is doing exactly what they do. It's slowing down for the tender moments and then just blowing its load and these big fucking moments of drama and grandeur and all of this. And it does just evoke the idea that Juliet loves this punky rebel style that's come into her life because she spent her life Rapunzeled in a tower, being told what she can and can't do. And Romeo's a hopeless romantic that will just presume he's in love with any woman that wants to spend time with him.
Yeah, any attractive girl will give him the time of day, basically. He'll like...
Yeah. And Baz Luhrmann dresses her up as an angel. Like, he's clever.
And he's a knight in shining armour.
Exactly.
And she's an angel. Like, it's
Nathan,
not subtle.
we get cinema. It must be said.
We understand the mise en scène of this movie.
Do you know what my biggest fear is? Is that one day this podcast is like successful and someone clips us on Twitter and it's like these bros really thinking they cracked Romeo and Juliet. And it's like, yeah, when we understand, right? Let's be honest. I don't think we're going to touch on anything that hasn't been touched on about this 500
None of this is new ground.
Yeah.
At all. Like, we're not fucking discovering Tutankhamun here, okay? We're like, this is all thoroughly explored territory. But not on this podcast, baby.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
So let's touch some more plot stuff, I think. So they Romeo tells her at the balcony, like,
He loves her.
this is me. This is Shakespeare by Lawrence.
Oh, this will be good.
You know when they get the drunk people to do like the history thing?
Drunk history, yeah.
That's it. In retrospect, I should have just taken a gamble on the name, shouldn't I? She goes, look, you're not having anything off me, mate. He's like, you're not going to satisfy me. He's after something, basically. Yeah. He wants a one. And she's like, not from me, geez. Come back tomorrow, and marry me, basically.
Yeah.
And that's again speaking to that they don't love each other. She knows that there's a ticking clock on Paul Rudd marrying her.
Yeah.
So she's probably trying to take any other lifeboat away from that.
I watched 2 movies with Paul Rudd in them this past week. One of them was in your face and ridiculous and difficult to understand, and the other one was Romeo and Juliet. It was Ant-Man, by the way. It was Ant-Man.
I told you wouldn't have liked it.
Oh, so bad. Anyway.
I just from your text, you text me saying you'd started it, and the first bad sign was that you texted it to me.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a bombastic visual spectacle of a movie, and I went. My response was, I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm looking at, like, is this? Are you showing me a medical condition? What's this on the screen? Yeah, I like that Friar Lawrence is doubtful of this union.
Yes.
But then he kind of has this like introspective moment, which is basically, maybe if I marry you two, there's a chance, a slim one at that your old cunt dads will just shake hands and stop killing each other in the street.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. It's weird how the mind works, because I did a Friar Lawrence monologue on stage. 'Cause we've acted, Lawrence. We're some acting boys.
We're acting boys.
And I've done some Friar Lawrence stuff, probably about, at this point, 10, 12 years ago. And I haven't really looked at it since, pretty much. But then when the scene came on, it was just there. It was just back
it unlocks,
instantly. Yeah. It's very strange.
I did Shakespeare for schools back in the day, and that was where they condense it to like a 30-minute retelling, and like a bunch of schools get given their Shakespeare play and they compete.
Yeah.
Retrospect, probably a very, very boring evening for the audience to sit through like 6 consecutive different Shakespeare plays.
Yeah. And all from kids as well.
But one thing I was going to ask you, I noticed once, and I think this is a mark of a good Shakespeare adaptation. I think if you can get this in under 5, then you've done your job. Right. Are there any moments where it is clear that the actor has no fucking idea what they're saying?
In this?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
I think there's the moment where Benvolio goes to find Romeo on the beach, and it's not so much he doesn't know what he's saying, because the line in itself is quite obvious, but it's very like when Shakespeare just finished a sentence with like a rhyming word for no reason.
Yeah, well, not
it just
no
feels
reason, but yeah.
No, but it felt unnatural and awkward, and he's like, I'm gonna go find him now, and it's such a definitive. This is supposed to be the end of the scene.
Yeah.
When he's getting out of the cab, do you know?
I know the one you mean, yeah, and I think it rhymes with whatever Montague says.
Yeah,
but yeah, I can't remember the exact one, but I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's where the actor and everyone's guilty of this. I've been guilty of this in Shakespeare stuff as well. Like, it's just you fall into the Shakespeare rhythm.
Yeah, you do. Iambic pentameter. is what it's called. Flexing
Very
all over
good.
this one.
Very good. He is punchy.
Funny, just a fun little story about Shakespeare. I find this so funny. When I was in college, again, I was doing some Shakespeare. It's the exact same one with the Friar Lawrence. The girl who was playing Juliet, I lived in Wales at the time, and the girl who was playing Juliet, lovely girl, she was called Caroline, absolutely lovely girl, but she was very, very working class and from Swansea.
Oh no.
Very working class girl from Swansea. So, you know the line, "Oh Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?" Very working class girl from Swansea. When we were doing the read through, I'll never forget, she got, bless her, she gave it her all. She just goes, "Oh, Romeo."
like
fucking Nessa.
Yeah.
Gavin and Stacey.
Oh.
I have never been able to forget that. It still makes me laugh to this day.
I knew a bad story was coming down when you started saying how lovely of a lady she was. I was like, oh, Nathan's going to insult her acting credibility.
No, I'm not insulting her. She did a good performance. It was just that initial reading was just very funny.
It's always funny when you see like a Romeo and Juliet parody. Do you remember in Hot Fuzz the scene of like the notorious bad actors?
Oh yes.
Yeah, they go bang!
Poison, I'll kiss thy lips.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
So we got Mercutio. He kicks the bucket, doesn't he?
Oh, great scene, man. I remember watching that scene over and over again in English. Because that's Act 3, Scene 1. It's one of the scenes you study. It's a very important scene in the play. And yeah, it's even with watching it so many times and studying it, which you'd think would like kind of ruin it for you, it's still, everything about it just hits, man. It's so good. It's such a really well done scene. And like the actual fight between like, you know, like initially Romeo and Tybalt, and then Mercutio can join in the shit. It's like, it's not a good fight. Like it's shit, and you can tell it's fake. And like they put like stock effect punching sounds in and stuff. But like something about that kind of works with this version of it.
As a director, I don't think he's done better than this since. But just like, also it comes because you're working with Romeo and Juliet as a text, which is like, it's so rich, there's shit to do from a directing point of view in an adaptation. Basically, I love that Mercutio is standing there and his whole deal is he's like, this is dumb. You're both dumb.
Yeah.
And like, you know, obviously a less subtle way of saying that is like a plague on both your houses. He blames them both for the conflict, and they are both equally to blame. Because they're both even though the Montagues claim peace more so, they're both ridiculous, and you see him kind of getting worked up, and it's a genuine like realistic portrayal of you know when you get under someone's skin and you can see it. And it's how like he goes from so subdued and calm, and then when he starts throwing punches, it gets louder and cartoonish. It's almost like he's traded in a bit of his integrity, and he's got involved in this stupidity. Yeah, and the movie kind of communicates that through slapstick fighting, and I don't know, just the way it comes across, I think is so interesting.
I think Johnny Legs as well. Again, great performance from him. I just love like the moments where Romeo says like, I'm not gonna duel you. I can't duel you. I love you now. I can't tell you why, but I love you now. And he's like, and he just doesn't understand. He like can't figure out. He can't put it together. And just the look of pain and confusion on his face as he tries to work it out. And then while he's like beating the shit out of Romeo and trying to understand, it's so good. Love John.
It's brilliant as well, because like, whilst you would think that because Leo's shouting and he's there trying to go for his Oscar and everything, you get him, like, it's interesting, again, it speaks to the whole, like, all they know is violence, because you're right, he doesn't understand, so he's like, until I understand, I'm just going to keep kicking you in the mouth. Yeah. Because it's all I know to do with you fucking Montagues.
And I think my favourite moment about that scene is after Mercutio has died, Tybalt and the Capulet boys are fucked off, and there's just that one like long shot of Romeo just like huddled over his body, and then he realizes Tybalt and the others have gone, and he just runs, he just fucking bolts it towards the car. Benvolio chases him to try and stop him. So there is that one other Montague boy who was like, he was stood like right where the car is, and he was clearly told by like Baz or someone, just step to the side, and then he just moves off frame so we can see what happens. That's very good.
It is very good. There is a theme with spare Montagues, isn't there? Like Romeo's best man at his wedding is also like, he probably has a name in the show. But I do like that he shows up and he's like, I'm your best man, and then he drives him back into town, and Romeo's like, have a good life, and he's like, bye Romeo.
That little boy, he fucked everything up. He was the reason everything went to shit.
Yeah, just couldn't check the mail.
Yeah, fuck that little boy. Post haste.
I've got got a fun note that says, I love that the modern version has Friar Lawrence on the phone to Royal Mail or like the USPS postal system or whatever.
Post haste Lawrence.
Yeah. It's very good, isn't it?
It's very good, yeah. I'll send it post haste.
Yeah, but it's the modern. It's like the equivalent of like, that was the modern equivalent now, but like in 2023, that's like, you're on Amazon, like my package didn't arrive, like I gift wrapped an invitation for Montague or something. Like, yeah, oh fuck, very funny.
Very fun. Yeah, that would be good. We haven't spoken much about Claire Danes. What do you think about her?
Great, very good.
Yeah.
She's really playing good. Juliet, i.e. the poster girl for not much to do but die.
Yeah.
But she brings so much personality to like the one heartbreaking moment, and Claire Danes fucking nails it.
Yeah.
Is when she doesn't like her mum, but she says farewell to her mum as she closes the door. And it's just like you get everything from her in that moment. I
think a moment I really like from her, it's literally straight after Romeo has killed Tybalt, and then it just cuts to Claire Danes. And she's just so excited. She's so excited about her future with Romeo. It's the, and if I should die, take him and cut him out into little stars speech. And she's so full of hope and just ready to start this life that she thinks she's going to have with him. And it's great, and it's beautiful to see, but it's also just heartbreaking at the same time because she's never going to get it.
I've got a note that just says, and I don't want to jump the gun, or jump the long sword, I should say. Is this the best dead eye acting? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, pretending to be dead.
Yeah, but like the moment you're supposed to... It's the moment where the actor is supposed to convey the light's gone out, essentially.
Who's it from, though? Who's doing it?
From Leo at the end.
From Leo. Maybe. Did you see his eyes when he dies?
You see him kind of... Because he's watching Juliet, and she's like... He's like half stammering.
Yeah, there's the moment. Yeah. Actually, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. You can fully see Mercutio breathing when he's dead.
Oh, I mean, it's a long take.
It is a long take, to be fair. He is wearing an open shirt, just lying on the ground.
And he's like, Romeo's hugging him. You see Romeo just being elevated up and down by him, by his chest compressions. There are little moments where the movie does show its age like that, but Romeo cruising back into town and taking their little churchgoer hostage.
Yeah, poor guy, man.
Firstly, poor guy.
He was just trying to close the doors to the church. Now he got drawn into this hostage situation.
Yeah, and it's kind of... I do like that they still... Everyone knows what taking a hostage means. It means you're bulletproof for a bit.
Yeah.
But they're still taking shots, and Prince is like, will you stop? You're going to shoot this man, this poor man.
Yeah.
Who's had fucking like mob bosses in his chapel all day long as well.
Mob bosses.
Well, they are, aren't they? That's one of the things, the best things about this is it's portrayed as like a fucking gang war in LA.
Yeah.
Which is really, really...
Mexico City. Probably supposed to be LA, but it's very clearly Mexico City.
It's very obviously, yeah. You can tell because it's yellow in certain sequences.
And as we all know, Mexico is yellow.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in Breaking Bad when they travel 3 miles down the road and suddenly the sky is yellow.
Yeah, they go from Albuquerque, New Mexico, to just across the border, and it's like, whoa.
They're in El Paso now, and suddenly, whoa. The sky is
good
yellow.
thing all this yellow dust is here. Basically, just a great sequence where he like breaks in.
Yeah.
And what I love in that moment as well is it's like at every point, at every conceivable moment, Romeo's fate is sealed. Even if he was to wait 5 minutes before Juliet says anything, he's dead. Because the second he steps out that door, he's getting riddled to fuck.
Yeah.
I just love that he makes his own bed.
That from the opening lines, they're star-crossed lovers. Their fate is already sealed. Really.
And I think this does a really, really good job of still making it's like I said, and I've said it a few times, it's a fucking centuries old play.
Yeah.
But this does the impossible, and the mark of a good Romeo and Juliet adaptation is it still makes you consider if he'd waited 30 seconds later.
Not even that, like 10.
And she's flexing
awake.
her wrists and stuff. Yeah.
She's watching him. She's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, she's popping and locking with her fucking wrists and stuff. Like, just looking up at him.
Literally, all he needs to do is just shift his eye line downwards, and he's golden.
She could have piped up a little bit as well, though.
Yeah, she could have said something.
But she's just she's stirring.
Yeah, she didn't know. She's been asleep for like 4 days or whatever. So
yeah, it's true. That's a great moment from Friar Lawrence as well. Like he looks at the clock and it's like an hour left on her potion thing, and he's like, "She stirs."
That's good. One of my favorite moments in this movie is like where he has the idea for the whole potion thing, and then suddenly it just goes into like widescreen. Like the bars come down, and like he's in front of this whole like montage that's going on. So I was like, oh, this is cinema. This is
Baz Luhrmann knows what's up. Yeah,
this is so good. I think what more might possibly be my actual favorite moment of the movie, and this is kind of serious, but also kind of a joke, but it's genuinely great. Is the moment where Juliet goes to see Friar Lawrence, and then like they see Paris first of all, and he's like, "Oh, I'm Paul Rudd. I'm gonna marry her. We're gonna have a great time. I'm young and handsome or whatever." And then he walks off, and they're alone. So they go back into his office, and she just immediately pulls out a fucking gun and puts it straight to her head. And like, I want my fucking boyfriend back. Tell me what the fuck. And then she pulls it on him, and I was like, she's so real for that. What a queen.
You're right. To be fair, I forgot about that scene, and that is, Claire Danes. She does have stuff to do in this movie.
Yeah,
like they do give her those sequences, and she's just as every bit as good as Leo. It's just that like he gets like 8 of them, and she gets like 1.
Yeah, it's true.
But no, very, very good performance from her. That's a great like distressed moment, because when she did turn the gun on Friar Lawrence as well, I was like, oh, she's going for it here.
Yeah,
she's got it down.
She does a good job.
The last one of the last lines, I can't remember to what effect it said or like the exact line, but it's when Prince turns to both of the fathers of Montague and Capulet, and it says like, "Fate has killed your joy with love."
Yeah,
and like just that, I know that's Romeo and Juliet summed up in itself. Like that's the entire thing. Like when you think about that for a moment, I'm like, that's clever. That's good. Like just taking something that you love and removing it through love. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, all round. I don't got much else to say on it, to be honest. The whole movie is easy watch and a banger.
Banger. Yeah, if you got 2 hours, throw it on, man. It's absolutely banger from start to finish, I reckon. Great music, great acting, great visuals, all around. You're not gonna have a bad time. I didn't.
No, I didn't either. And that's rare that we agree on something like this.
That is true.
If that's not the mark of a movie that can bring us all together.
Yeah, this is infinitely better than After Sun.
Come on now. Come on now.
They hated Jesus, for he spoke the truth.
Very good.
What do we do?
Well, what we do at this point, Nathan, is we like to tell people what we're doing next week. And do you want to talk about it?
Ooh, yes. Hold on. Phil.
Who's Phil?
As in, like, Phil time.
No, I know. I was just doing a little funny joke.
Okay. Good one.
Well, at this point, Nathan, in the story, what we like to do is tell people what we're doing next week.
Oh, yeah. Next week. Coming to your podcast feed. The hit movie of 1999, I think. Keanu Reeves is in a computer or something. Anyway, we're doing The Matrix. We're doing The Matrix.
It's not as good without the music. Put your voice back to normal.
Sorry. We're doing the Matrix because it is the month of May, and it's a good little pun to do the Matrix. So I'm going to turn this off. So every Friday,
there's 4 Fridays in May.
There's 4 Fridays in May. I'm going to keep this on. So every Friday we will be doing a Matrix movie, starting with The Matrix.
Yeah, and everyone has always pronounced it like that too.
Yes, and then we will move on to The Matrix Reloaded after that. And then The Matrix Revolutions, and then whatever the 4th one was called.
Resurrections.
Maybe. So good bit of fun. Get ready for The Matrix. Jack in or jack off. Do whatever you want to do.
Don't know about that.
Well,
don't know if you should be doing that.
Well, it's healthy.
Yeah, it did. That is what we're up to. Get excited for the entire month of May. But in the meantime, if you just simply can't fucking hold back your excitement and you're so keen for this podcast to generate more Swedish Corona equals. No, you can give us a little follow. We're on Twitter at Another Happy Pod. Give us a little follow there. We have changed our artwork. It's a little fun Matrix thing over there now.
Oh yeah.
So go give that a little look over. Share this podcast. Give it a little share. If you're a big Matrix fan, it's going to be a fun month. Yes. So let your mates know and give us a little review. Nathan, how would they do that?
Well, I'll tell them in a second, but if you have any cool thoughts or anything you want to say about The Matrix, let us know. Tweet us. Send us your thoughts. Maybe we'll read some out if we get any. I mean, we probably won't, so yeah.
Tell us if you want us to immediately follow it up with Indiana Jones.
Right. You bastard. I cannot believe you just did that. You know what you did there. You little fucking shit.
Or, sorry, to be fair, Nathan wanted to do the Fast and Decemberius. I think he said he would.
I came up with Indiana Jones. Fuck you.
What was my one? I had a good one.
I don't think you did.
No, I had one half decent one.
None of us.
It wasn't as good as Indiana Jones, I admit.
Neither of us can remember it, so clearly it wasn't that good.
No, probably not. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Nathan, how do they leave us a review?
You can go to your podcast platform of choice, go to the rate and review section, and please leave us 5 stars or more, not less, definitely not less, or Baz Luhrmann will kill you.
He'll shoot you with his long sword.
He'll fetch his long sword hoe and he'll shoot you. So yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's legally binding as well. He's told us that.
yeah.
That's a threat that is we're passing it on from him, so he can't be mad at us.
Good old Baz. Stay tuned for Moulin Rouge and then later Australia. We won't do Australia. It's a bad movie.
I've never seen it, to be fair.
It's not great.
Give us a follow on Twitter. I've already said that, but new episodes come out every single Friday at 10 a.m. So get excited.
And also please go and listen to Still Got Legs if you like Doctor Who and want more of this, but about Doctor Who. Go do that, I guess. It's the same as this, but it's about Doctor Who.
Anyway, Nathan, I think you should play us out with one of those funky Matrix tunes.
Oh, yeah.
two star-crossed programs.
I'm a robot. I am. What did the robot say?
That.
I'm a machine. I'm a big squid machine or something. To be honest, I don't think they talk. I'm a different robot.
Oh no.
I